the Xerox starting goaltenders tonight. Ron Tugnut performed in game number 1 in Ottawa in this series. He was the loser 2-1, and he gets back between the pipes here tonight after Damian Rhodes played the last 2 games. Dominik Hasek has gone all the way for the Buffalo Sabres, and that may be the truth right through until the Sabres complete their playoff experience this year. That goals against average .86 coming into tonight's action. 2 referees again, of which Don Koharski will face off the puck. He's one, Mick Magoo the other. Pierre Rasico and Mark Wheeler are working the lines, and game number 4 is underway here at the Marine Midland Arena. Hasek slowing it down for Zhitnik, peels off in the corner to get away from Hossa, and Hasek starts away up on the wing to Barnes. Barnes flipping it in over the line, knocked down, kept into Primo. He took a shot, and Tugnut grabs that one.
Now what a great play by Buffalo to break out of the zone. There's Alex Zhitnik going back there, making a neat play, passing the puck up the boards, and Buffalo moved into the Ottawa zone. Our scratches for tonight, Miroslav Shatan, because of that bruised foot, not playing. Sanderson with a bruised thumb or hand, not playing. Grand Pierre, Rob Ray, and Daryl Shannon, healthy scratches. And for Jacques Martin, Bruce Gartner has a bad foot. He's out for the season. Picklick with a groin problem. Diverse Martins, etc. Healthy scratches.
Out to center. Schmelik going back after the puck, whipping it up on the wing. Barnes chopping it in and getting away from a check. It's sent around behind the net. Senators coming up. Oh, Primo got taken up behind the net, but it's cleared back through center ice. Picked up by Bonk. Bonk drills it across ice. There's nobody home. Hasek coming right to the net to send it out to center again. Kravchuk recovering for Ottawa. Buffalo trying to complete a change here. Kravchuk reels one right through the middle, and that skips down the ice into the corner where McKee feeds it around the boards to Rasmussen. Rasmussen tipped it, and it's going to slide into Ottawa territory, and it's coming back icy.
I thought 2 players played that puck up along the boards, but I guess not. And it goes icing and a faceoff coming back in the Buffalo zone. Of course, talking to head coach Lindy Ruff this morning, what he was happy about with his hockey club. Game 3 was the best game that they played, but he said the work ethic of our team has improved every game. And he said, I'm worried about everything. He said, I'm worried about special teams, about refereeing, right down the line. And Jacques Martin, he wants his club to play like they did in game 1. He said that was our best game of the series. He tried to relax his team for the last day or so.
You know, with all due respect, I think Jacques has a few more worries at the moment than Lindy does.
He's got a bag full of worries, doesn't he? Down 3 games to none. And of course, all the cliches were ringing around the Marine Midland Arena today. Taking one day at a time, one game at a time.
Back to the point, long shot, skipped off into the corner. Brown trying to tie up his man, comes up with the puck, didn't get it out. McEachran's shot is right on, and Hasek giving it to Junot. Junot feeds it through center, up on the wing. Grosek trying to catch up with it. He falls. Puck underneath him momentarily. Brown gets it in over the line. Here's Brown spinning into the corner, trying to cut around behind the net. Brown drops it back in the other direction. Taken away by Salo. Salo dumped one through center and all the way down the ice. Warner back after it, icing Ottawa.
Now, Ottawa Senator Jacques Martin has switched his lines again. He's taken McEachran away from Yashin. That's what he did in the 3rd period of game 3. And Yashin comes out onto the ice now with Johansson and Dackel, I believe. But Buffalo with an opportunity. Curtis Brown tipping the puck around the defenseman, Igor Kravchuk. And Brown just could not cut to the front of the net. That's what he wanted to do. And he was cut off by the opposition. And give Ottawa credit on that play. It was Kravchuk actually who got back to cut off Brown. Good coverage in front of the Ottawa net, and Brown had nowhere to pass the puck.
Back to the point it comes, held in by Buffalo, scooped in by Zhitnik, and drilled right across the ice. Ward picks it up. He fires one that goes wide of the net. Squeezed around on the other side, and it's chunked out by Johansson. Zhitnik getting it off the boards. Not right back in again as it hit the referee and never cleared the zone. Now work to the blue line and out to center ice. Pekka racing after it. Here's Pekka in over the line. Pekka spinning around, looking for the trailer. Came in front of the net. Schmelik didn't get his shot on. Schmelik's got it again. Hit the outside of the net. Picked up by Ward. Ward turning around. Ward putting it right on. Tugnut kicks it away. Schmelik keeping it in there again. Sending it in for Verada too far. Lokinen can't get it out. Ward finally lost it, and it's tapped out to center ice. And Johansson and Verada are really laying the lumber on each other, and that escaped both referees. Schmelik starting out. pumped up high in the air as far as center ice. Scooped off the boards by Cruz. Sylvester took a run at his check and failed to connect. Dean Sylvester up for his first NHL playoff game from Rochester for Buffalo. Up on the wing, it deflects to the blue line and out to center by Sylvester. Senators getting it right back again. Scooped ahead, knocked down by Schmelik, stolen away by Redden. Redden working it ahead. Donato flipped it in, and then Donato got the lumber up on Sylvester. Chopped around on the boards again, and Sylvester and Donato are still clashing. Ends up going all the way down the ice. Tugnutt plays it back there. Senators to bring it away to center ice again. Bonk, he left it there, taken away by Sylvester. Dumps it right back in and heads off on a change. 3 minutes have gone here in a scoreless first period. Salo slipping one to center ice. That's broken up. Barnes drops it back. Patrick, he'll get it to center ice. That's knocked down, and away goes Rasmussen. Rasmussen pitches shot, blocked by Salo. Salo coming up with it behind the net. Got it around to the boards. Primo trying to keep it in there. It's knocked down, swept to center ice. Rasmussen scooping it across to Warner. Warner throwing it right back in again. Tugnutt got out in time to give it to Salo. Pumped around on the board. Barnes trying to keep it in there. Kicking at it again. Warner's long shot right on. And that screen shot made its way all the way to Tugnutt, who hangs on to it. Still, there is no score here in the first.
Tonight for Buffalo, Dean Sylvester playing his first NHL playoff game. The Rochester Americans handily won the first round of their playoffs against Adirondack 3-0. And Sylvester with the 3 goals and an assist.
Senators, Kravchuk getting it as far as center ice. Picked out of the air by Brown. Brown checked by Pospel, but Buffalo getting it right back again. McKee to Warner. Warner takes a look. Tried to feed it through center ice. Tap back in the other direction. Warner has to chase after it again. Pospel's on him. And around on the board. Scoop but not out. McKeckern keeping it in. Pospel fed it in front. That's knocked down. A shot, and it deflects into the corner. Warner can't get it out of there as he flattens Pospel and sends it off the boards by Kravchuk and into Ottawa territory. Phillips recovering for the Senators to Kravchuk. Kravchuk squeezes a pass as far as center ice. Alfredson could not get away. Sabres starting back. Brown's pass, getting it up on the wing. Verada bouncing off Phillips, goes after it in the corner. He gets knocked down by Phillips, sent around to the boards. Kept in there, however, by Buffalo. Schmelik trying to work it into the corner. Sent all the way around on the other side to Pekka. Got back to the point, it went to center ice. Up to Pekka again. Pekka will scoop it in over the line. The Senators come up with it on a delayed offside, but they'll clear it away to Johansson. Johansson turning at his own blue line. Now fired one through the middle, in over the line. Here's a chance for Ottawa right in front of the net. The shot! Hasek makes the save, and it hangs on. And then some pushing and shoving going on in there, and there's going to be a penalty coming up against Buffalo.
Well, Alexei Yashin gets in behind the Buffalo defense. One of the few times in this series that he's had a clean scoring chance on Dominik Hasek. And Alexei Zhitnik, I believe, is going to go to the penalty box. Dackel was right with Yashin, but Dominik Hasek, great piece of goaltending. He waited until the last instant and then made the move on Yashin. Yashin ended up shooting the puck into the pads of Hasek and Zhitnik's in the penalty box. A face-off coming up here to the left of the Buffalo goaltender.
And the Ottawa Senators, who have scored all the goals they have in this series on the power play, get the first opportunity of the night.
That's 3 goals that they have in this series. And Yashin stays out there at center. And it's Juneau and Pekka.
Scoop to the boards. Warner tying up his man. Yashin coming over to help out. Pekka took it away. Pekka to the line. Didn't get it out. Kept in there. Well, swung back around behind the net. Hasek slows it down. Tried to scoop it into the corner. Deflects back to the point. Kept in by Redden to Kravchuk. Kravchuk for Alfredson. Alfredson holding it in. Working down low. Got it right beside the net. Came right out in front. Kicked away. Chopped to the blue line. Not out. Salo holding it in. Comes it around behind the net to McKeckern again. McKeckern looks looking, feeds it off into the corner. Albertson's got it there. Back to Kravchuk. He fanned on his shot. Got another chance. Came in front of the net. Albertson's shot goes across ice, but not out. Now Juneau pumped it out over the blue line. Buffalo trying to make some changes here. Senators bringing it right back again. Sliding in over the line is Albertson. Albertson got it back to the point. Pekka steals it away, sends it down the ice, and Koharski got flattened by Johansson coming off the Ottawa bench. The referee, Don Koharski, bounces right back onto his feet. However, a minute left in the Senators' power play. Comes as far as center ice, taken away by Brown. Ottawa regaining possession. Prospel leaving it to Redden. Up on the wing, Johansson. Johansson just sails one wide of the net into the corner. Schmelik bumping in there with his check. Schmelik knocks it free, but they can't get it out. Kept in by the Senators to the point. The long shot. Hasek makes the save. In front of the net, they scoop at it again. Holzinger ripping it right into the Buffalo bench.
Now, Richard Schmelik made an outstanding play back in the corner to the left of the goaltender, and Brian Holzinger ended up with the puck, could not clear the zone, and you cannot continue to give Ottawa second chances in your own end of the rink. Pekka and Juneau were guilty of that early in the penalty when they failed to clear it. Richard Schmelik has been an absolute tower of strength in this series. The one-on-one battle wins it again, gets it to Holzinger, but Brian Holzinger could not clear the puck from the zone. So face-off coming up here at the top of the circle to the left of Hasek. No score in the game.
Yashin against Barnes. Half a minute to go on the Buffalo penalty. First penalty of the game. Barnes kicking away at the puck, but the Senators keep it in. Dropped off now to McEachern. He gets checked. It bobbles its way to the blue line and will be recovered by Ward. Ward tried to cut it ahead. It was knocked down by Redden. Ward steals it back. Ward trying to flip it ahead. Finally worked it to Barnes, and Barnes drifts it right into the Ottawa bench this time. And it's a good thing Damian Rhodes is dressed for the occasion, because he almost took that one in the coconut.
Well, he was ready for it with the trapper on, but Stu Barnes killing the last part of this penalty along with Dixon Ward. Now, Dixon Ward, because of the great penalty killing ability of Joe Juneau, has lost his position up there with Michael Pekka for the most part on killing penalties, but he will remain on the ice now with Pekka because just 14 seconds left in Zhipnik's penalty. Zhipnik will go to the bench and Verada will come onto the ice. Yashin still on the ice for Ottawa.
McEachern gets it through center ice. Yashin swings it in over the Buffalo line. Alfredson trying to catch up with it in the corner. Patrick took it away, didn't get it out. Redden keeping it in to the other side of York. Quick shot by Yashin goes wide. Buffalo back at full strength. Pekka hooks it high to center ice. It's scooted across ice again. Sabres are making more changes. Redden starting back. He launches one into the corner. Set around behind the net. Ottawa maintaining possession, working it around Arvidsson. He gets checked, goes after it again. Arvidsson back to the point. That's knocked down. And it's back through center ice. Phillips tipping it ahead. Ottawa with a pass up to Hossa. Recovered by Buffalo, but not out. Balk keeping it in. Here's Balk with a shot. Hasek makes the save. And it's fired down the ice by Buffalo right on Tugnutt. And that grants the Sabres the opportunity to complete a change on the D. Phillips slings it to the blue line. Not out. Warner keeping it in to Verada. Verada pumping it down low. Primo trying to catch up with it. Tugnutt spins it around to the board. Warner tried to keep it in, unable to do so. And back after it, McKee. McKee flips it ahead. That's recovered by Bonk. Bonk hitting the Buffalo line, just scoops it off into the corner and heads to the bench, and then looks for McKee, who got a piece of him. Up on the wing, Verada sending it through center to Primo. Primo hitting Ottawa territory, getting around Salo, took his shot, rebound, gun right on, they score! Eric Rasmussen gobbling up the rebound, pounding it home, and Buffalo takes a 1-0 lead.
Eric Rasmussen with his first goal of the playoffs, and again, the Buffalo scores the first goal in the series for the 4th consecutive game. What a play by Primo, but it began back in the neutral zone. Primo lugging the puck into the zone. Sami Salo is a weak link on the Ottawa defense. He could not control Primo. Rasmussen going to the front of the net, jams it home as Nelson Emerson watched him.
Here's Salo back at his own line for Kravchuk. Igor Kravchuk getting center ice now to the Buffalo line. Took his shot, but he's way offside.
And see, there's what happens. Kravchuk trying to do it himself instead of utilizing his teammates and shooting the puck into the zone.
Here's Junot kicking it around behind the Buffalo net. Senators keeping it in there, though, trying to get the equalizer. Comes out in front, and a quick shot by McEachern ends up on Junot's stick. Junot attempting to gun one through the middle. Brown got a bump at center ice. Ottawa recovering again, working it ahead to McEachern. That's chipped out of the air and taken back by Zhitnik. Zhitnik puts it over on the wing. Junot shoveled it ahead, but he gets taken out. It's back at center ice. Recovered by Junot again. Can't get anywhere. Ripped around on the boards and jammed all the way back to Brown. Brown feeding it to Grosek. Grosek will send it in and head off. And a change. It's rattled around on the boards and picked up by Dackel. Dackel spinning it to Yashin. Yashin poking one to center ice. Too far for Johansson. Buffalo bringing it back again. Cruz in over the line. Got taken out. And it's scooped out to center. And the Ottawa team comes back to Redden. Redden leaving it back there. Pass to Redden again. Trying to get it in front. Great play by McKay. Sent around on the boards and flipped out and back into the Ottawa end. This one is just going to make it for icing. Jay McKay with a great defensive play.
What a wonderful play by Jay McKay, who has had such a strong series. And that was not an easy play for him to make. Well, the Buffalo Sabres score first. They've scored the first goal in all 4 games, as I mentioned. Tonight, scored it on the 7th shot. In the first 3 games of the series, they scored the opening goal on the 2nd shot of the game 3 times. What a play by McKee, though, as he anticipated the puck coming to the front of the net, slid, and make sure it never got there. Great defense.
Yashin tries a shot. He hits Pekka. He gets it himself. Took a shot. Dribbled by the net and taken away by Pekka. Pekka trying to get it off the glass and out. Got it to the blue line. It's forced out by Ward, and he got held up. Now Redden for Yashin. Ward got in front of him again. Ward cocks it free. Gets knocked down. Brought in by Pekka. In front of the net. Here's Verano. The shot. And he scores! Václav Verano. A perfect pass from the captain, and the Sabres have a 2-0 lead.
And again, Pekka, Ward, Verada score against Alexei Yashin line. They have absolutely ate them up this series, and they continue here tonight. A huge goal, the 2-goal lead now in effect for Buffalo. What a play by Dixon Ward, and what a great job Verada did of controlling a backhand pass from Pekka. The puck goes to the legs of Tugnut and trickles into the net. Goaltenders have to make saves when the game is on the line, when it's 1-0, and Tugnut could not do it.
Halfway through the first period, Buffalo has built its lead to a pair.
And Primo is at center with Stu Barnes and Eric Rasmussen. This is a line that got Buffalo going, as Rasmussen scored his first playoff goal, and Tugnut doing a smart thing here. He's trying to slow down the momentum. Yep. He's saying, look, I've got an equipment problem. Very smart move by the goaltender. And he's going to take a sweet time just to try to calm this crowd down and try to calm his hockey club down. And the backup goaltender, Damian Rhodes, who played in games 2 and 3 of this series. Jacques Martin, tough situation again here tonight. He desperately wanted his hockey club to score first. That didn't happen. He wanted them to at least tie the game up. That didn't happen. And the worst thing in the world that could have happened did. Buffalo with a 2-goal lead.
Woolley flipping it ahead. It's Lokinen who chases after it behind his nets. Johnny Lokinen, watched by Primo, whips one out to center ice though to Hossa. Hossa getting it over the line. Got flattened by Woolley. Look around on the boards. Arvidsson gets taken out by Patrick. Spun back into the corner again. They'll jam it on the boards. Hossa keeping it in. Poking at it again. Senators to Hossa. Hossa gets taken off the puck. Patrick feeding it off the glass to the blue line and out to center. Lokinen Back after it, Primo chasing him around. Sent across to Phillips. Phillips to Hossa. Hossa whipping a backhand in, and now both teams are starting to make some changes. Patrick, a pass through center. Whoops, that one missed everybody. Goes down the ice. Cruz trying to catch up with it. Can't do it, and this will be an icing against Buffalo. Less than 9 to go here in the opening period. The Sabres have jumped out in front by a pair.
Buffalo had 4 players entering the playoffs. Terrible time scoring goals. Verada, Brown, Curtis Brown, Barnes, and Holzinger. You can stroke 3 of those players off. Verada, who scored tonight. Curtis Brown, the winner in game 1. And Brian Holzinger.
There's Alfredson. A shot. The rebound just wide of the net. Alfredson's got it again in the corner. Alfredson turning. Sending it back to the point. Salo, a blast. Rebound. Oh, she got a piece of it. Senators keeping it in. Here's McEachern turning. Back to Salo. Another shot goes wide. It's kept in by Kravchuk. He drills it around to the boards. Penalty coming up to Buffalo. And it goes off Schmelik just wide of the net. Ottawa again trying to hold it in and 2. And now Buffalo getting it back. And the Sabres are going to find themselves shorthanded again.
Well, Ottawa just, they have to be shaking their heads thinking, how in the world are we still being shut out in this hockey game after chances like they just had on Dominik Hasek? A penalty for interference is being called on the Senators. And Magoo is pointing to the Buffalo bench. And Shipnick said, "Is it me?" And Magoo said it is.
And
not in those exact words,
no.
But and Shipnick saying, "Why? What happened?"
Yeah, I already got one this period. I don't need another one.
Well, a huge opportunities for Ottawa in front of Dominik Hasek. Brilliant goaltending, and Jetnik ends up taking his second penalty of the hockey game.
McKee sending it around behind the net. Juneau trying to take out York. Does. Puck knocked down, kept in by Ottawa again, right in front of the net. Speared off into the corner by Yashin. Yashin swings it down low. Here's Dackel, got it in front. Hasek in there again to foil Johansson. Dackel catching up with it for Ottawa. Left it at the point. York feeds it around. All the way to the corner to Yashin. Yashin back for Redden. Redden will give it to Yashin again. Yashin took his shot, and Hasek knocked that one away, and it's cleared down the ice. Tugna feeding it up to Redden. Buffalo gets a chance to change. Ottawa as well. Back comes Alfredson. Alfredson tips it in over the line to Yashin. Yashin's dealing one across ice. Salo's long shot. It bounced around behind the net. Schmelik trying to tie up his man. Back for Salo again. Salo dumping it off in the corner. Waiting for a return pass. McEachern fell, but he managed to keep it into Alfredson. Back to McEachern. McEachern rolling around. He took his shot. Hasek the rebound. Hasek makes the save again. Stuffed around behind the net. Comes out in front. Salo blasts it wide. Here's Kravchuk keeping it in. Works it to the corner. It's spun around on the board. Sabres can't get it out. Yashin holding it in. Tried to roll it in front. Broken up by Schmelik. Now tipped behind the net. They jam at it again. Right beside the net. And play is called. And Yashin is getting worked over. And now Alfredson goes charging in there to grab Patrick. And that brings Brown into the fray. And boy, oh boy, it wouldn't take. Now Alfredson gets up and tosses one at Brown.
Now, Alfredson's got to calm down. I mean, his club trailing 2-0. He just cannot take a silly penalty no matter what Buffalo does to Alexei Yashin. Dominik Hasek has been absolutely brilliant here again in the last 4 or 5 minutes. He stopped Yashin on a shot. Hasek didn't see it. It was through a maze of players, but he was in the right position. And then he continued on from there. Great goaltending on a superior power play by Ottawa. Hasek just brilliant as he moves across the net. That unequaled lateral movement, getting himself in position not only for the first shot, but for the second one. And Ottawa had numerous chances to get on the board. Alfredson, during that scrum, ends up taking the only penalty. And that's not what Ottawa needs in this game.
39 seconds remaining. It's some of the folks are
polishing up the Vezina.
Yeah. Wonder who they're going to give that to, huh?
Dominik Hasek now has not allowed a goal to the Senators in the last 131 minutes in 28 seconds. And it's not because tonight they haven't had chances to score.
Oh, brother.
In game 3, Dominic had just coasted to a shutout. Here on the opening period, 13 shots for Ottawa. And the Sabres, and running around in their own zone, Lindy wanted his club to concentrate more on the Ottawa point men. They're going to have to get back to that game plan because they're not.
Each team is shorthanded at this moment. 35 seconds to go now, and the Buffalo penalty. Tucked into the corner. Dackel comes up with it. Dackel takes a bump in there. Warner helps out and gets it to Verada. Verada swings one across ice. Warner catching up with it. Warner back to McKee in his skates. He gets it up on the wing. Verada starts away with Primo. Worked into the corner. Primo trying to catch up with it. Kravchuk after the puck around to the boards, and he got it by Warner and down the ice. No icing on this play, however. Hasek banks it up ahead to Warner. Warner can't get it out, but ties up his check in the corner. They push and shove. McKee comes over. Buffalo is back at full strength, so the Sabres are now with the man advantage as Primo starts to center. Working it up ahead. Junot turning, allowing his teammates to complete a change. Junot in over the line. Here's Grosek getting it across the shot. By Pekka. Sent back behind the net. Junot tying up Redmond in the corner. Junot knocks it around on the boards. Kept in at the point again. Scooped back into Junot. Got it across to Woolley. Woolley looking in front. Takes the shot right on. And Tugnut snares that one.
Boy, Joe Junot with some excellent work first in the neutral zone. And then Buffalo gained the Ottawa blue line, and Junot went to work. Made a great play, a one-on-one battle against a guy who's much bigger and stronger in Sammy Salo. And Junot won the battle in the corner, and Buffalo ended up with a couple of shots on goal on this power play. 50 seconds remaining. Our keys to this series for Buffalo to generate a forecheck. They've certainly done that since game 1. Eliminate turnovers at the Ottawa blue line. They've been almost perfect at that. The 2-goal lead, we have it here tonight. That's huge. And special teams, of course, a very big part of this playoff series. Buffalo winning game 2 on a power play goal by Curtis Brown, and they got another power play goal in game 3 in this building. And scoring one here on this power play would really put Ottawa in deep trouble.
Woolley does send it in, goes around behind the net. Tugnut helps it around the board. Shitnik pinches in to keep it in there. York with it in the corner. Junot working on him. Here comes Shitnik across again. Back to Pekka to hold it in. Pekka gets it right back again. Pekka works it in now to Shitnik. Shitnik swinging it back to Junot. Junot takes a shot. Got it into Shitnik once more. Back to Junot. Junot winding up. Over to Woolley. Woolley takes a shot right in front of the net. It's kicked away. Woolley trying to keep it in there. Gets tied up by Box. Now they jam on the boards. Kept in by Buffalo to Shitnik. Takes the shot right on the rebound. Swept around behind the net. Pekka couldn't reach it. Tapped on the corner. Kept in by Buffalo. Woolley took a hit. They jam on the wall once again. And the Senators feed it off the glass and through center ice. Alfredson stepping out of the penalty box going after it. And Shipnick after him. And it's called now offside at the Buffalo line. 5 minutes to go in the first. 2-0 Buffalo on Empire.
Sabres up 2-0 here in the first period. Looking for sweep coming up in our first intermission. I'll talk to forward Eric Rasmussen. We'll go back to Empire Studios, and Rick and Jim will have their analysis on this first. Up to you guys.
They'll drop it outside the Buffalo line. Emerson tips it across. Salo after the puck. Rasmussen after Salo. Back at center, Kravchuk. Kravchuk got away from Barnes. Now taps one in wide of the net. McKee spins it back into the corner to Warner. Warner trying to force it away. Gets it again. Flips it. And that ends up on Salo's stick at center. He'll get it up on the wing. Rasmussen takes out his man. McKee squeezes one too high for Barnes, but he steals it back. Barnes with a shot, and that one hit Kravchuk. Kicked around on the board. Senators trying to come back again. Slipped away to center ice. In over the line. Emerson left it there. Kravchuk gobbles it up. Kravchuk gets taken out in the corner, and the Sabres come right back again. McKee getting to center. He'll scoop one in. Buffalo making a change. Phillips looks it up on the wing. Turning Johansson looking for skating room. He can dangle, and he gets to center, but he gets checked. And now Phillips comes up with the puck. Verada got knocked down at the blue line, and the end result is an offside against Ottawa, make sure to stop by the new meeting place during the playoffs. It's the Crossroads Pub. It's open 2 hours prior to face-off, located in the pavilion-level party room, featuring Buffalo food favorites and a full bar, all at the Crossroads Pub.
I think Jacques Martin has the right idea tonight. He's just putting Yashin out there, and he's not worrying about trying to get him away from Pekka. He did that in the first 3 games. He put him on different lines. Not tonight. They're just going head-to-head, and Jacques saying, the heck with it. Here you go. See what you can do against him. And so far, the Pekka line, as the puck goes out of play, has scored against the Yashin line. That goal by Václav Varada. And of course, Buffalo then added another one, Erik Rasmussen, with his first playoff goal. And Alexei Yashin has been absent this series, and I still go back to the first game of the series. I think he played too much in game 1, and there was a time in the third period when he could barely get to the bench. He was so tired. He was no good in game 2, and certainly not effective in game 3. He's not one of those guys that I think can play a lot of hockey during a game. 22 to 24 minutes is about right for him.
Puck is finally shoveled off into the Buffalo end. Yashin after it. Schmelik knocked it away. Cleared in front of the net. And taken away by Pekka. He got it around on the boards. And it's tapped ahead now and sent down the ice by Sylvester. This will be icing against Buffalo. If I can mention something else about Alexei Yashin, though, partner, when I left the building after the last game 2 days ago, Alexei Yashin was coming out the back door of the building and walking with his agent, and I believe he was walking back to the team hotel. When he got to the rear end of the parking lot out by the street, there were a number of fans there yelling at him to please come and sign his autograph. And to give him all the credit in the world, as upset as he must have been with his team being down 3-0 and him not playing, he peeled off and went over and satisfied all those fans.
That's pretty classy. And I'll give him credit too. I think in the one game he ducked out the side door, but since then he's been up front and center, and he's done interviews and talked to people and making no excuses.
Zhitnik looking up on the wing with a pass, finding Holzinger. Holzinger fouled right over top of Redden. Now it's swept back into the corner again. Holzinger after it once more. Around behind the net. Tugnutt comes out. Holzinger's on him. Cruz runs into his check. Kept in by Buffalo. Here's Zhitnik. Over to Schmelik. One-timer, and that's cleared away from in front of the net. Back comes Ottawa again. Brought by Donato in over the line. Donato looking for a trailer. Cleared right in front. Hasek knocked that one down, and play has been called. It was knocked out of the air with a high stick. Make the right decision. Insist on Karuba collision. Don't call Brian Holzinger's name too often in connection with Karuba, but you sure do this time as he tags Wade Redden.
What a collision that was. The bus hitting the Volkswagen, and the Volkswagen, Holzinger really surprised the big bus on that one, because Redden's a big guy.
Well, the bus is now in Karuba's parking lot.
That's right, they're being repaired.
He bounced right back up. Young fella.
Redden thought, boy, I'm going to take advantage of this. But what you forget about Holzinger, he may be not that tall, but he has huge legs, and he has a great skating base. In other words, he's very hard to knock down.
Brown unable to get it out. Warner will by squeezing it out to center ice. 2.5 to go here in this opening period. 2-0 Buffalo. Tipped up to McEachern. He can't get any farther than center as Warner ran into him. Taken away by Salo. Just dumped it off the boards right onto McKee's stick. McKee feeding it to Junot. He couldn't get it away through center. Kept in by Ottawa. Cleared in front. McKee broke it up. Here's Alfredson in the corner trying to get away from Junot. Got it in front at the side of the net to Emerson. After it, Alfredson again. Back to the point. Kravchuk way wide of the net. Hasek steers it around on the boards to Junot. Junot saw Alfredson coming. Got away from him, and it's cleared back in and now called on an offside.
Dominic Hasek with 13 shots on goal here in the opening period. 13 saves. And he has been called upon to make some dandies, particularly early in the period when Ottawa was pressuring Buffalo. And on the power play, time and time again, Hasek, he made 2 huge stops on Alexei Yashin. One on a partial breakaway as Yashin was right in on him, and the other time on a shot through a screen, and Dominic made the save with his left glove.
Warner getting it out to center to Pekka. He'll tip it high in the air. Phillips For Ottawa, sending it off the boards. Ward keeping it in there, but Phillips got it back to center ice. Now it's cleared in over the line. Verada trying to catch up with it as he bounces in there with Lokinen. Verada still digging for the puck. Back to Ward. The puck up to the outside of the net. The three-way passing play and just failing to connect. Out at center, Johansson. Sail one in off the glass all the way around on the boards. Yashin trying to keep it in. Warner knocked it free out to center ice. Redden fanned on it, got it back again. Squeezes it across ice, and York throws one right on Hasek. Hasek now hanging on to the puck, finally gives it to Zhitnik with a minute to go in the period. Out at center to Barnes. Barnes leaving it there, racing after it. Rasmussen on the backhand, tried to cut in, and then ran into Tugnutt. Out goes back behind the net again. Recovered by Ottawa. Bringing it up on the wing, and Rasmussen coming back on Arvidsson heavily. In behind the net, Hasek shovels it off to Schmelik, getting it off the boards, not out. Schmelik squeeze it around in the other direction to Zhitnik in the corner. Zhitnik rolling it ahead. He hit York. Zhitnik, however, got it to Schmelik. Schmelik takes a look up on the wing to Barnes. Flipped it to the blue line, not out. It's punched back into the corner again. Schmelik leaning on Arvidsson. Got it around on the boards. York keeping it in. York punches it back in front of the net. It slides off into the corner. Schmelik gets taken out, but got it up ahead. They'll jam it on the boards. Here's Hossa coming up with the puck in behind the net, trying to come out in front. And a quick shot is right on. Hasek making the save as York let it go.
Another big stop by Dominic Hasek as the Sabres got into some trouble in their own zone. And Buffalo wingers, Stu Barnes, a couple of plays where he could not move the puck from the zone. Another play, Schmelik did a great job in the corner. He shot it up around the left wing boards. And the Buffalo winger, Rasmussen, in that particular case wasn't there. But what a play Rasmussen made as he cut to the front of the net. And what was impressive about that, he was checked by York, but he avoided contact with the goaltender. That could have very easily been called a penalty. And then he did a great back-checking job going the other way as he caught up to Arvidsson, who's one of the fastest skaters on the Ottawa Senators. So a great job of avoiding contact. That was important because that easily could have been called a penalty if he maybe bumped him or tried to get a little cute.
8 seconds remaining in this opening period.
As far as Tugnutt is concerned, he should have hit the deck and tried to draw a penalty on that.
I don't think he was too sure where the puck was, though.
Maybe
he didn't
that's
want to take himself out of the play. It's cleared around behind the net. Patrick in the corner, guiding it up on the boards. Sylvester just tipping it high in the air, and that horn will signal the end of the opening period.
Well, certainly from an offensive point of view for Buffalo, huge with a 2-0 lead. Erik Rasmussen scoring his first playoff goal, and Václav Verada his first of this playoff season. But Buffalo has to play better in their own zone. They gave up 15 shots on goal to Ottawa and a number of quality scoring chances, and that's really too many. Shots on goal, 15 as I mentioned for Ottawa, 11 for Buffalo. Faceoffs, Buffalo won better than the Senators, and the scoring chances logged at 4 apiece. Now the matchup tonight, of course, as throughout this series, Alexei Yashin versus Michael Pekka. Yashin, of his 7 shifts, 6 were opposed by Michael Pekka. And of course the Pekka line scored that second goal for Buffalo against the Yashin line. 2-0 Sabres as we start the second period.
York tipping it across ice, now whipped out to center. Hossa going after it, he'll spin it in off the glass. Zhitnik rolling it ahead to Rasmussen, can't get it out. Ottawa keeping it in there again. Banked in by Redden around behind the goal. Arvidsson tied up by Schmelik, and Schmelik scoops it off into the corner. Rasmussen charging after it. Rasmussen gets to center, gets knocked down by Hossa. York from behind his net, flinging it around the board. Primo keeping it in there. Now taken back by Redden. Primo's on him. He leaves it to Bonk. Bonk swings it to the blue line. Not out. Schmelik held it in. Now it goes to center ice. Rasmussen waiting for his teammates to get onside. Drills it right back in again and hustles off on a change. Senators dealing it across ice. Up for Hossa. Got away from him. McKee trying to flip it in the other direction to Ward. Ward jams it in over the line and ends up squirting high in the air to center ice. If Ward touches it, the whistle will go. It does. It was a glove pass from McKee to Ward.
Well, one of our keys throughout this series has been in the neutral zone, and you don't want to turn the puck over in that area of the ice. The Senators turned it over 8 times, 7 in the neutral zone. One of them, of course, resulted in, actually 2 resulted in goals. Sabres turned the puck over just 3 times, and that's one of the reasons why the Buffalo Sabres have a 3-game lead in this series and a 2-0 lead in this hockey game with 18:55 remaining here in the second period.
McKee slipping it across ice to Warner. Pass up ahead, too far for Grosek. It's left for Kravchuk. Grosek trying to catch up with him and does. Went back into the corner. Alfredson drops it off. Here's Junot in front of the net. Quick shot by Brown. Tug got the save. Brown there on the boards again. Kept in by Buffalo again. Spun back into the corner to the point. Kept in by Buffalo. Warner over top of the net. Now it's sent by Sallow around to the boards. Warner charges into his check. Here's Brown trying to feed it through center. Alfredson stealing it back. Alfredson whips it up on the wing. Missed everybody. Down the ice it goes. And an icing call coming up against Ottawa.
Boy, Curtis Brown could have made it 3-0. What a play by Junot. And when I saw Curtis Brown get the puck in front of the net, he hesitated. And that allowed the goaltender Tugnut to move across and make the save. But Junot, all those great offensive players, those creative guys, do the unexpected. And that's what Junot did on that play. No one expected him to attempt that pass to Brown. And Curtis could not convert it, but it was well executed. Great play by Junot. Just took the puck off the boards, put it in front of the net. I think Curtis was a little bit worried that he was going to lose control of the puck. The puck hit his stick, flipped up, and that's when he hesitated, and it was too late.
Zhitnik will hold this one in. Lokinen spins it around on the board. Schmelik moves up to get it to Verada. Verada pulling away from Yashin, but it's recovered by Lokinen and wheeled all the way through center and down the ice. Zhitnik hustling after it, watched by Dackel. Zhitnik leaves it to Schmelik. Schmelik scooping it around to Ward. Ward trying to guide it ahead. Ottawa keeping it in. Johansson goes down, and Zhitnik gets his 3rd penalty of the night.
Well, that's a very bad penalty for Zhitnik to take. Instead of getting himself in position, he just chopped down the Ottawa forward, and for the 3rd time, he'll sit in the penalty box. Now, Buffalo, I mean, here they're sitting with a 2-goal lead. You cannot allow the Ottawa Senators to get themselves back in the game. And one of the ways that you do that is by taking bad penalties. And Zhitnik took a bad penalty in that play. And the Senators with a chance here, one shot, could put them right back in the hockey game with plenty of time showing. And the first couple of times they had the man advantage, they dominated Buffalo in the Sabres zone. We'll see if the Sabres make some adjustments. Lindy Ruff wanted the point men covered more closely, and they better start doing that, or the Senators are going to put one in.
Here's Pekka trying to pick it off, rolled it, didn't get it out. Ottawa keeping it in, cleared across ice to McEachern. He'll chop it down low to Yashin and lets it go around behind the net. Pekka charging in there after it. It's cleared to the blue line, not out. Back it comes. Emerson, the shot blocked by McKee and sent to center ice. Emerson heading it across now. Phillips works it ahead. Here's Emerson over the line, and McKee trying to end him right there. Whoa. Daniel Alfredson saw Jay McKee coming in the nick of time. Pass to center to Prospo. Prospo dropping it off. Brought in over the line, but broken up and cleared right back out again by Schmelik. Now Emerson sends it across ice, and it's gunned right back down the ice.
A play by Schmelik again, breaking up the play by the Buffalo blue line, and the Sabres end up killing off another 30 seconds.
At the center by Redden, clearing it in over the line. That's broken up by Holzinger this time. Less than a minute to go in the Zhitnik penalty. Right back in behind the net. Ottawa trying to regroup to get it going. Sallow swings one through the middle, taken away by Patrick. He uses the boards. Sallow has to chase after it again, but in so doing, he allows Buffalo time to make a change, and now it's brought back in over the line. Hossa trying to cut in, shoveled it toward the net. Hasek knocked it away. Hooked around on the board. Schmelik to the blue line, out over the line. It ends up at center ice. Half a minute left in the penalty. Kravchuk turning around. Kravchuk feeds it right back through the middle. Far as center ice, it's dumped in. Hasek tees it up. Warner got it around on the boards, and Rhett Warner successfully clears it the rest of the way down the ice. 4 minutes have gone here in the second period. 2-0 Buffalo. Hossa into Buffalo territory, leaving it to Yashin. Yashin sending it into the corner. It's cleared right beside the net. Kept in there by Arvidsson to Yashin, and it's knocked away. Buffalo back at full strength. Tucked back into the corner again. Here's Yashin trying to get in front, and it's cleared away and goes through center ice. And Yashin complaining after he was dehatted. Here to the blue line. Rasmussen got it in front of the net. Back pass, and Rasmussen couldn't connect. Tugnut cleared it away. Out at center. Back in the other direction to Verada. He tried to get it to Primo. The pass went behind him. Kravchuk checked along the boards. Ottawa recovering again. It's flipped up to center ice and scooped off by Bonk into the corner. McKee going after it. McKee works it around on the boards. Deflected back through the neutral zone. 5 minutes have gone here in the second period. Pass by Ottawa, stolen by Woolley. Chances in over the line to shot and fired it off the glass. Kept in again by Buffalo. Sent around to the boards. Woolley got it in front of the net. Deflects to Cruz. He took a shot nowhere near the net. Round to the boards, and the Senators just pick it up and flip it back into the Buffalo end. Woolley coming up with it. Donato peels off him and heads to the bench. Now Woolley up on the wing to Cruz. The pass went behind him, and it's taken back by Lokkonen, and Lokkonen ducked away from a check, and down on the ice at center ice is Dixon Ward. Check it, it's Brian Holzinger who tried to nail Lokkonen right in the neutral zone, and Holzinger missed Lokkonen, but he didn't miss the boards. And he is feeling the effects as a result of that.
Now Buffalo leading 2-0 with 14:24 remaining here in the second. Brian Holzinger, who crashed into the boards in the neutral zone, is okay. He was shaken up there for a couple of minutes, but he's on the bench and did not go to the dressing room. Sabres with this 2-0 lead, and of course the danger of a 2-0 lead is sometimes you get psychologically you don't want to, but it happens. You try to protect that lead, you become unaggressive, and you allow the other club to keep coming at you. Buffalo wants to remain aggressive, and so far I think they have done that.
Brown will win the draw now and get it back to Shipnick, cruising behind the net, shakes off the kicker and off the boards to center ice. Redden tips it over to York. York being watched, feeding it ahead. Brown stepped into him. Redden comes up with it in the corner. Tipped it back behind the goal. York has it. York gets checked by Grosek. Redden has to go after it again and feeds it out to Emerson. Emerson working his way to center ice. Scoops it over on the wing to Alfredson. Alfredson cutting in with a shot. Hasek to save the rebound. Another whack at it. It's cleared away. Ottawa keeping it in with Redden. He guides it across ice. Here's York taking a shot. Deflected off into the corner. Junot comes up with it. Junot banks it off the boards. Doesn't get it out. Ottawa keeping it in there again. It's tucked back into York. York takes a shot. Scores! York fires that one and drills it by Hasek. And now Ottawa is within one.
13:36 remaining, and I'll tell you, the Ottawa Senators really getting their defensemen involved. Jason York, a great job inside the blue line. And I mentioned in the opening period, Sabres having problems in their own zone at times, giving the puck away. That time it was Junot, and everybody got themselves out of position. York moves in from the point position from just on the faceoff dot, beats Dominic Hasek. We've got a new hockey game here with 13:36 remaining in the second period, and Buffalo better start waking up in their own zone.
McKee chasing after it now, swings it around behind the net. Warner feeding it to Verada. Verada starting away with a pass up on the wing, and Warren overskates it. Pekka helps him out. Pekka now will tap one in wide of the net. Lokkonen coming up with it in the corner. Verada took a run at him. It comes to center ice. McKee scoops it out to Ward. Ward feeds it into Ottawa territory. Verada trying to catch up with it. Does in the corner. And then lost it to Lokkonen. Lokkonen turning, and he flipped it through center ice. McKee getting it back. Got it up towards Ward again. It comes to the Buffalo line. Yashin got it in over the line. Back to Dackel. Dackel looking in front of the net, and the shot goes wide. Pekka lets it slide to Verada. Verada starting out. McKee to Ward. Ward just easing it down the ice and stepping off on a change. Senators York. to center. Buffalo getting it back again as York got hammered by Rasmussen. And now Hossa flattens Woolley. It slides back in at Primo into Kravchuk, jammed around on the boards. Barnes gets nailed from behind by Hossa. Primo gets involved in there, bumping with Bonk. Him to the blue line and out to center ice. Senators kicking ahead again to the Buffalo line and over. Broken up by Woolley. Hossa keeping it in. Pulled it in front of the net. Hasek knocks it away to Rasmussen. Rasmussen will get it out to center. 8 minutes into this second period. Scoop right back in again. Barnes knocked down by Bonk, who got away with that one. And it's sent through center ice. Ottawa getting it back. Tipped up ahead. McEachern trying to get away. McEachern hitting the Buffalo line. Dribbles one in wide of the net. Hasek slaps it back into the corner. Barnes coming up with it. He'll scoop it to center ice. That's knocked down and cleared to Alfredson. Alfredson poking it ahead. Taken away. Rasmussen scooped it out as far as center ice. The Senators break it up, however. Patrick got in front of his check, and then it's fired in by Barnes. And this one just makes it across the icing line, and the face-off will be back in the Buffalo end, where the Sabres lead 2-1.
Now Dominic Hasek, just terrific in this series. Finally, Ottawa scores a goal on him at 5-on-5. And his shutout streak ends at 144 minutes and 55 seconds, and it took a defenseman to do it as Jason York scored Ottawa's first goal. We're 2-1. Yashin on the ice against Pekka for this face-off to the right of Dominic Hasek.
Hit to the corner. Zhitnik takes it away. Zhitnik using the glass to send it through center. This one is going to make it down the ice, so it's coming right back in the same spot again. And let's go now to Danny Gare.
Thanks, Rick. It's up here in the press box with Rochester American coach Brian Hutchison. And Brian, you're up here enjoying this game because you swept the Adirondack Red Wings in the first series. You had a great year this year winning the division. Thoughts so far on your season?
Well, we're very pleased with the season that we had. We had a real good bunch of guys and a talented group. And most importantly, they worked very well as a team. And I think that was the key to our success all year.
You got a couple guys up here, Rasmussen and Sylvester, that are playing very well also.
They've done a great job for us. I think Raz needed to get the time in Rochester to gain his confidence and the consistency, and he's really done a lot of that.
Thanks, Brian. Up to you guys.
Here's Schmelik sending it around. Verada steers it out and into the Ottawa zone. Salo is back after it. Salo getting it back into the corner. Recovered by Johansson. Johansson dropping it back behind the net. And away goes Buffalo again. Trying to stop the Senators at the Buffalo blue line, but it's lugged in over the line by Kravchuk. He gets taken up by Zhitnik. Pekka with a pass, deflected, kept in there by Ottawa, though. It's punched in front of the net, broken up. Zhitnik kicked it away to center ice, 2-on-1 Buffalo. Ward in over the line, waltzing in with Verada. Verada scores!
And that's unlike Ottawa. They, for the most part through this season, have been disciplined. The Yashin line, again, victimized by Pekka. The pinch at the blue line by the defense is stopped. Ward with a beautiful pass across to Verada, and Verada slips it home. Buffalo has their 2-goal lead back. Not a very good play by the defenseman Kravchuk. And Ward with a great pass to Verada, and Václav has his second of the night when Buffalo really needed to score.
Primo tips it back now. Here's McKee to Warner. Feeds it up on the wing. Taken back by the Senators to York. York. It's intercepted. Here's Grosek walking in. Grosek the shot. Tugnut. A huge save as Tugnut sprawls Ella Hasek and robs Grosek. McKee feeding it around on the boards. York keeping it in. That deflects right in front of the net. McKee scoops it to the boards again. And it's deflected across ice to Rhett Warner. Warner getting it out to center. Ottawa, the pass to York for Redden. Redden swinging it ahead. Grosek has gone to the bench. He's broken his stick. Brought back in. Arvidsson's shot is kicked away. And it's backed off the boards to the blue line. Not out. Senators keeping it in. Picked out of the air. Primo hooks it free and slides it right down to the Ottawa goaltender Tugnut. Senators starting back. York's long pass to Alfredson. 2-on-1 in over the line. McEachern took the shot. Scored! McEachern! And there's Ottawa battling right back again and trailing once more by 1.
And Lindy Ruff wanted his defense to be aggressive, even at the risk of giving up odd man rushes. Well, Jason Woolley got too aggressive that time in the neutral zone. Gets caught 2-on-1, and McEachern with a beautiful shot on Dominic Hasek. Alfredson, a great play as he pulled Jason Woolley to him, and Alfredson doing the right thing, shooting the puck, beats Dominic Hasek. And we've got a shootout going here in this game. 3-2 Buffalo, 9:28 remaining here in the second period.
Who would have thought this?
Oh, man. And Sean McEachern with a perfect shot against Dominic Hasek.
Twice Buffalo has had 2-goal leads. Twice Ottawa has come back. And we're only halfway through the second period. Here's McKee trying to gain center ice. Got it off the boards. Tapped back out again for Albertson and taken away by Junot to McKee. He'll feed one in. Tugnut leaves it behind the net. Lokinen sending it around to the boards. And it goes through center. Buffalo Junot spinning it ahead. Deflected in over the line, but Phillips takes it away. Phillips trying to pull away and does to Albertson. He'll scoop it in. And Sylvester ran into Phillips. Senators McEachern holding it in there. He's checked by Warner. It's kicked ahead to the blue line and taken by Junot. Has to wait for the puck. Now he'll just feed it to Ottawa territory. Swung back in the other direction. Junot knocking it down. Getting it across ice to Brown. Sylvester goes to the net. Here's Brown looking for the trailer to Junot in the corner. Junot spinning around. Took his shot. And that one hit Sylvester in front of the net. And the Senators Alfredson starting back. Alfredson hitting the Buffalo line and over. He drops it off in the corner. It's flung toward the net. Hasek knocks it away. Johansson checked in there by Sylvester. Tried free by Pekka. Pekka hit by Yashin. Senators keeping it in. Ripped across ice to York with a long shot that goes wide. Junot slips it out to center. Junot's trying to get to the bench. Can't do it as the Senators bring it back in again. To Dackel. Dackel cleared in front. Deflected around behind the net. McKee spins it ahead, and away goes Verada. Verada with 2 of Buffalo's 3 goals. Verada getting it over the line. Finally loses control. Ottawa coming back up to Yashin. Yashin plus a shot, and Hasek kicks that away to Schmeling. Intercepted at the blue line. Finally punched free, and it goes to Ward. But the Senators bring it back in again. Yashin leaving it there. Verada stepped into Arvidsson. They'll jam along the board. Schmeling comes in to pull over top of Yashin. Knocked down right at the line. Hossa carries on into the corner. Hossa gets checked by Zhitnik. Zhitnik and Yashin get the lumber up on each other. Back comes Buffalo through center. Up for Verada. Verada tapping it in and heading off on a change with 7:20 to go here in the second. Pass on the wing to Salo. Salo sends it through center ice. Knocked down by Zhitnik. Zhitnik trying to get it up on the wing. Primo coming in now. Primo around Kravchuk. Primo in the corner still with the puck. Hossa checked him. And finally recovered by Bonk, who slips it up on the wing. Pass across ice to Salo. Salo faked it. Now he takes the shot. He gunned it wide of the net. McKee chopping it around to Warner. Warner up on the wing. Rasmussen sending it across to Grosek. Grosek in over the line. Took the shot. Tugnut had some trouble, but he cleared it away. Alfredson getting it back. Alfredson slipping it up ahead. Phillips leading the rush. Hitting the Buffalo line. Way upside is Sean McEachern. Less than 7 to go in the second period. Buffalo on top, but only by 1. Umpire.
Now Buffalo with the lead, 3-2, 6:41 remaining in this second period. And both teams playing it wide open tonight. I mean, we haven't seen this many scoring chances between these two clubs. I think if you add up totally, certainly during the regular season.
I'm not so sure in this decade. Patrick flipping one in. Tugnut is going to have to hang on to this. Too many Buffalo Sabres sweaters heading in his direction. We'd like to say a big hospital hello to Stephen Goodrich. Stephen Goodrich, he's 12 years old and he's in the pediatric intensive care unit at Children's Hospital as part of our get well wishes to all of those in hospitals around Western New York and Southern Ontario.
I'd also like to send a special hello to Norma Alese, who is recuperating in Buffalo General Hospital. If you're enjoying tonight's game.
6.5 remaining here in the second period. Swung back to the point. Patrick took a shot right on. Tugnut lost control of it and then managed to flop on it in time as Sylvester darted in there.
Now James Patrick with a quick shot from the point, paired with Jason Woolley for this face-off. Of course, you have Schmelik and Jitnik, who have been very good in this series. Then you have McKee and Warner, who have been excellent. And Patrick and Woolley maybe don't play as much, but they certainly have contributed in a big way. James Patrick with his experience, of course, and Jason Woolley in particular, when he plays that power play, is so valuable. Well, Yashin back on the ice for Ottawa. You know, McEachran's got a goal tonight. That's his second in the series. I'm Jacques Martin. I think I might think of putting him back on the line with Yashin to try to get the big guy going.
McKee with a shot that makes its way into the corner. Ward fired one at the side of the net. Spun back into the corner again. It's worked around on the boards and just drifted all the way down the ice by Dackel. Guess he was trying to pass, but he's nowhere near connecting.
You know, Sean McEachran, of course, played most of the season on the wing with Yashin, and Martin in the third period of the last game switched lines, took him off that Yashin line. Verada has been terrific in this series, particularly in Game 3 when he banged Yashin around. It caused the Ottawa captain to take 2 undisciplined penalties. Buffalo scored a power play goal on one of them, and then tonight, of course, Verada with 2 goals.
Kept in by the Sabres. It's tucked back into the corner, but now it's fired through center by Redden. This is cleared across ice. Yashin going after it. Got it in over the line, but Pekka was right on him. Rolled across to Ward. Ward scooping it off the boards. York takes it away for Ottawa to Redden. Redden's pass intercepted by Ward. Ward at center ice turns, then gives it away to Yashin. Yashin starting back again in over the line. Yashin busts to the corner, tried to clear it in front, but it's taken away by Ward. Ward turning again, failed to get it out. Johansson keeping it in. His shot at the side of the net as Hasek got a piece of it. Pekka throws it around to Verada. Verada couldn't control the puck, however. Kravchuk dealing it over on the other side to York. York's pass was picked off, but it ends up bouncing right back to Kravchuk to York. York feeds it and fires center. Hossa chasing after it. He'll whip one in.
Go, go, go!
Hasek leaves it behind the net. McKee around on the boards, but Bach kept it in there. Now it's picked out of the air by Pekka, still chopping at the puck, but the Senators keep the Sabres pinned to their own end. Around behind the net, Arvidsson tried to tuck it in front. Verada charging after the puck, fails to get it out. Arvidsson gets knocked down, and a penalty coming up here to Buffalo. Puck sliding down the ice, racing after it is Cruz, but as soon as he touches it, the whistle will go, and the Sabres will be shorthanded again. Still leading by 1 here in the second.
4:47 left here in the second. Sabres up 3-2. Coming up in the second mission, I'll talk to defenseman Jay McKee. We'll go back to the Empire Studios, and Rick and Jim will have their analysis on this second. Up to you guys.
Well, a very important situation now. Rhett Warner is in the box for holding. Ottawa trailing by 3-2 with 4:47 to go, and a face-off coming up here to the right of Hasek. And of course, that commercial timeout gave Alexei Yashin time to gather himself. He's back on the ice again. It's Curtis Brown and Holzinger for Buffalo. Buffalo in their own zone have been weak in this period. They weren't very good in the first period. One of the reasons the wingers are having a very tough time being strong up along the boards and moving the puck from the zone. Penalty killing, Ottawa haven't scored yet, but they've had some very good pressure.
Senators Kravchuk keeping it in, working it to Yashin. He hooks it back into the corner. Tipped around on the boards. Yashin keeping it in. Salo, quick shot. Hasek knocks that away. Schmelik feeds it around to the boards. Kravchuk keeping it in. Long shot deflects right beside the net. Tipped in there again by Ottawa. Poke back into the corner. Yashin charging after it. Watched by Brown to Kravchuk. Into Yashin again. Yashin builds in front of the net. Hasek makes the save. And they cover up right there. And now Brown and Yashin are separated.
Boy, what great power play by Ottawa again, and Dominic Hasek down on the ice, scissoring the puck between his pads to make yet another save. And let's go downstairs to Danny Gare.
Thanks, Jim. Here with Miro Shatan and Miroslav. How is the foot?
It's getting better. It's much better than yesterday. yesterday I was working on clutches and couldn't drive a car or anything like that, and today it improved.
Do you feel if there was a Game 5 that you could play in it?
Possibly, it's possible, and I think if it's gonna heal real fast, I could be on the ice on Game 5.
Finally, your thoughts on this game so far?
It's a tough game, and hopefully guys can keep up and come up with a win tonight.
Thanks, Miroslav.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And right off the face-off, Pekka sends it down the ice. 1.5 minutes to go in the Warner penalty. Tugnutt left it there and taken by Salo. Salo will swing it ahead. Senators come back. A pass to Alfredson. Deflects high. In along the boards. McEachern holding it in. Pekka trying to come up with it in the corner. So is Yashin. They come back to the point to Salo. Salo drops it off to McEachern. He got checked to Salo. Took a shot. Hasek knocked it away. Rebound. Jammed back into the corner. Alfredson's got it. Alfredsson swinging around. He drops it off. Here's cleared right beside the net again. In behind the net. Kick back into the corner. Not out. Salo keeping it in. To Kravchuk to Salo. Salo works it back into the corner. 45 seconds left in the Buffalo penalty. Tipped around to Alfredsson. Alfredsson. He has Yashin open down low and gives it to him. Yashin looking in front of the net. Watched by Patrick. Sends it back to the point. Salo the shot. Rebound. Hasek the save. It's chipped away again. McEachern keeping it in. Getting it back to the point again to Kravchuk to Salo. Salo flip one. That's deflected into the corner. And charging after it now, as you know. And there's a penalty coming up to Ottawa. It's rolled down the ice. Tugnutt comes out to play it. And with 16 seconds remaining in the Buffalo penalty, the Senators will pick up one for interference.
And it was James Patrick who was knocked down right in front of Dominik Hasek. And again, that's the second time in this game that has happened. When the Senators have been on a power play, they've taken penalties. In the first period, it was Alfredsson who went to the penalty box. And this time, James Patrick, that's just an awful penalty. That was Alfredsson, I believe. Or no, I beg your pardon, McEachern. That was McEachern. What are you thinking when you do something like that? Your team's pressuring Buffalo. You're getting scoring chances. And then you lose your head and make a play like that. And a veteran should never do something like that. And McEachern did. It's called interference. And a face-off at the other end of the rink here to the right of the goaltender Tugnutt. Buffalo 3, Ottawa 2 with 3:02 remaining here in the second period.
Twice Buffalo has had 2-goal leads in this game. 2-0, 3-1. Brown kicks it free. Woolley back. Zhitnik takes a shot. Blasted it off the glass. Woolley goes in low. Woolley turning in the corner. Woolley sliding it off now. Comes back to the point to Zhitnik. Zhitnik takes another shot. In front of the rebound. Woolley gets fouled by Tugnutt, who eventually covers up.
Well, Ron Tugnutt, give him credit. He's made some huge stops here in the second period to keep this game close, within range, and he does it again as Jason Woolley, right in on top of him, could not put the puck over the goal line. Zhitnik shot was knocked down, and Woolley moved to the front of the net. Again, Lindy Ruff continues to want his defense to be aggressive, and Woolley ended up in the slot with a scoring chance.
So that game with both teams each a man short. Now the Sabres have returned to full strength.
And 1:44 showing on the clock in McEachern's penalty. Curtis Brown is at center with Dixon Ward and Holzinger up front. Woolley and Zhitnik on the points.
Flipped into the corner. It's tapped around on the boards, but not out. Now kick free by Redden. Woolley keeping it in to Holzinger. Holzinger to Woolley. Woolley sending it along the boards again. Ward back to Woolley again. Woolley trying to spread him out. Works it back into the corner to Holzinger. To Ward. Let it go to Woolley. On the other side, Zhitnik took the shot. Knocked down in front of the net. York got it to the blue line. Did not get it out. Zhitnik keeping it in. Holzinger gets nailed in there by York, but the Sabres hold it in. Back to Woolley. Woolley drops it off to Ward. Ward hanging on to the puck. Feeds it into the corner to Holzinger. Back to Ward again. Woolley, one-timer. He blasted it wide. Rebound and stuffed it over top of the net. Tipped in by Buffalo. Back to Woolley once more. Intercepted and dumped all the way down to Hasek. Hasek feeding it out to Woolley. Ottawa changing, so is Buffalo. Zhitnik to the Senators line. However, it's knocked down and cleared right back down the ice by Alfredsson. 45 seconds to go in McEachern's penalty. Less than 2 minutes remaining here in the second period. Woolley's been out there a long time. He sends it up on the wing to Schmelik. Schmelik's pass through center is stolen by Alfredsson, stolen back by Pekka. Pekka will leave it to Schmelik. Schmelik got it off the boards. Alfredsson takes it away, however. And Ottawa's Alfredsson getting to center ice. He goes down. It's ripped across ice again. Lokkonen drilling it off the boards. Woolley is still out there. Can't get to the bench. Junot picks it up and he starts away. Junot guiding it in to Pekka. Back for Junot. The pass went behind him, and has it now been called offside?
I didn't think it was, but no, I'm not sure. Now Buffalo making a change. Maybe it was an illegal substitution, and the faceoff will be at center ice with 1:09 remaining here in the second period.
When you want the latest news on your Buffalo Sabres, check out Fan TV. Weekdays at 4:30, weeknights at 9:30. Fan TV bringing you everything you need to know from the world of sports. Fan TV right here on the Empire Sports Network.
7 seconds left in the Ottawa penalty. 1:09 here in the second period. Ansel Virata, a big night for Buffalo with 2 goals. Rasmussen has Buffalo's other goal. They're both on the ice here along with Primo.
Virata also has an assist.
Now it was just a matter of time. You could see his game starting to round into shape when he starts banging people around and gets miserable out there. You know he's playing well.
Hosek with the puck at center ice with a minute remaining in the period. Dribbled it ahead and over the line. Warner slowed down his man. McKee sending it around on the boards. Rasmussen trying to get away. He poked it ahead. Primo scoops it in. He gets slowed down. Tugnut comes out to get it around behind the net. Arvidsson starting out now. Getting as far as center. Warner saw him coming. Cut him off at the pass. But Arvidsson keeps it in. Now it comes to center ice again. Virata swinging one off the glass around behind the net. Sabres collide and go down, and Buffalo's going to be called here.
Now that time, Virata, one of the few times he did not make a good play there. He was a step from the center ice line and shot the puck from where he was, and that's icing. You have to make sure that in the last minute of play, if possible, that you gain that center line. We've got to give some credit, though, to the Ottawa defenseman. It was Salo who stood up on the play and really harassed Virata and forced him to do that. So a face-off to the left of Hasek with 31 seconds remaining. Yashin is on the ice, and Pekka is there for Buffalo. Boy, this has been an intriguing matchup throughout this series. Jay McKee, of course, has played a lot against Alexei Yashin along with Rhett Warner. Those two are on the ice now. It's McEachran up front, Yashin, and Alfredsson, the 3 best defensive players for Ottawa.
Kept into York at the point. He stuffs it down low for Yashin and behind the net to Alfredsson. Alfredsson kicked it around on the boards. Couldn't reach it. Sent to the other side. Sylvester banking it off the boards to the blue line. Shoveled ahead, but Redden kept it in with a long shot that went wide of the net. A dozen seconds remaining in the period. Yashin again trying to feed it in front at the side of the net. McEachran going after it. McEachran charging after the puck again. Back to York. To McEachran again. He took a shot. He flicked it right in front of the net as the horn ends the second period.
Well, 40 minutes gone by, and Buffalo, of course, with a 3-2 lead. But the Ottawa Senators looking very dangerous tonight in this series, the first time since game 1. Buffalo twice have had two goal leads, and twice the Senators have come back. What a battle here at the Marine Midland Arena, and we'll check our Toyota statistics after 40 minutes of play. Shots are 32-21 favoring the Senators. Faceoffs, Buffalo having a good night, winning 26, losing 17, and scoring chances, we have them at 9 apiece.
And of course, a 5th game in this series, if necessary, would be played in Ottawa on Thursday night, as the Sabres would not leave to go to Ottawa in that eventuality until tomorrow afternoon. The Senators would be heading back home after the game tonight.
Here in Buffalo, the Sabres take a 3-2 lead into this third period, and as far as the head coaches are concerned tonight, this is the first game in the series when there has been very little line juggling. Jacques Martin, as I mentioned earlier, has come into this game and he said, I'm not going to worry about trying to get Yashin away from Pekka or any other situations, and that's what it's been. It's been straight ahead, and it's been an exciting hockey game as we get underway.
York getting it across to Redden. Redden tried to squeeze it through center ice. It's finally banked in over the line. Schmelik takes it away, can't get it out. Arvidsson keeping it. Here's Hossa with a shot. Hasek the save. Jam back in the corner. Hossa's still got the puck. Hossa flipping it in wide of the net. Hasek working it around to Rasmussen, but Arvidsson keeps it in. Arvidsson works it back into the corner. And the Senators immediately putting on pressure. Now it's tipped in wide of the net. Hasek without a goal stick. Schmelik got it around on the boards, didn't get it out. Ottawa keeping it in there again. Quick shot fired wide, and this time it'll end up going back into Senator territory, and Buffalo hustling to make a change.
That was Hossa who missed the net. That's not the time to miss the net when the goaltender's stick is laying back there.
McKecker now leaving it to Emerson, winding up and hurling one way up into the Marine Midland Arena.
The Ottawa Senators got a great shift to start the period from Marcus Arvidsson, who missed Game 3 with back spasms. Radek Bonk and Hossa also playing on that line. Now that was a line that was very good for Ottawa towards the end of the regular season, and Jacques Martin got a lot of heat from the Ottawa press for breaking the line up when this series began. And he put it back together actually in Game 3, and it continues here tonight, and they came very close to scoring as Hossa had a great chance on Hasek right off the get-go after the puck was dropped.
Kravchuk coming up with the puck at center. Salo swings one in. Warner trying to kick it free in the corner. Challenge, but gets it to Sylvester. Dean Sylvester, the pass at center to Junot. Racing after it, so is Salo, and Salo comes up with it. Got it around behind the net as Brown fell. Salo starts out once more for Ottawa. To center, the long shot. Hasek handles that to McKee. Senators are changing. Up to Sylvester on the wing. Sylvester swinging one in. That goes wide of the net, and Buffalo immediately making a change as Yashin is out there, and that brings Pekka on for Buffalo, but the Senators meanwhile dumping down the ice. That's an icing.
Well, this date is a very significant one in Buffalo Sabres history. Against New Jersey a couple of years ago in the 7th period. April the 27th, Game 6 at the Auditorium. Dave Hannon on the backhand ends it in the early hours of the morning.
You know, the neat thing about that, when we get a chance to look at it, all those people still sitting in the seats.
That's right.
They want to go home.
Boy, there's Dominik Hasek in that game, stopped 70 shots and had a shutout streak of over 135 minutes.
Ottawa's Phillips can't get it out. Pekka keeping it in. Spotted in front. Verada the shot, and Tugnut foils him, and now the Ottawa net is sent flying.
Now, Václav Verada, can you spell hat trick? He has 2 tonight, and he had another great opportunity, but the problem was he was in too close to the goaltender, and Tugnut really didn't have to do a whole lot except hold his position and make sure the puck wasn't shot into the net along the ice. I think Tugnut knew that Verada could not shoot this puck up high as he spun and fired it, and a nice stop by Tugnut. The net was knocked ajar in a faceoff coming up here to the left of the goaltender.
Schmelik holding it in with a backhand, getting it into the corner. Verada got nailed from behind by Lokinen. No penalty called there. Here's Ward trying to dig it free. Verada comes up with a puck. Verada turning again. He works it down low. Ward got it now. Ward swinging around, getting it in. Verada lets it go behind the net to Pekka. Back to Verada. Verada trying to work it in front. Still has the puck. He's crunched by Yashin. Taken away by Lokinen. Lokinen is checked by Ward. Then on the second effort, kicked it out to center. Senators bringing it back again. It's dribbled in over the line. Yashin charging after it in the corner. Nails him. Up Buffalo coming up with the puck, scooping it high in the air through center ice, and Rasmussen just failed to catch up with it. Arvidsson back after it. Sabres in the midst of a change. Hossa gaining the Buffalo line and over, but Schmelik stays right with them. Woolley spins it behind the net to Rasmussen, bumping with Bonk. Ends up going back behind the net again. Primo is there to get it around to the boards. Didn't get it out. Kept in by Redden. Redden knocked down along with Primo. It's flipped off the boards again and goes to center ice, and Primo racing after it. 2-on-1 in over the line. Here's Primo with a shot, and he fired it wide on the short side. Bonk didn't get it out. Woolley keeping it in. Arvidsson has it. Arvidsson going behind his net. He'll start to come away for Ottawa. Brings it up to center. Flipped it through the middle again. Brought to the Buffalo line and kicked across the line. Now out to center to Alfredson. He gets nailed by Grosek. Taken back by York. York feeding it up on the wing. That misses everybody. Slides down the ice. This is icing against Ottawa. 16:25 to go here in the third period as the Buffalo Sabres and the Ottawa Senators go at it tooth and nail.
Both coaches in this game have cut down to 3 lines. We haven't seen Stu Barnes at all, or very little. Paul Cruz, of course, also not too much ice time, and Jacques Martin doing the same thing.
Warner with a shot that's right on. Sylvester. Chuck heavily. Over to Warner. Getting it up ahead. Brown couldn't catch up with it. Ends up back at the Buffalo blue line. Warner turning, finding McKee. He gets it up on the wing, and it's fed through center ice and over the line to Sylvester. Just failed to get away. Senators bringing it back again. Alfredson turning around for Kravchuk. Kravchuk to the Buffalo line and over. He dropped it back, and it's dribbled in wide of the net. McKee gets it around the boards to Junot. Junot starting back into Ottawa territory. Lost control at the last second. Picked up by Kravchuk, who's behind the play. He got it ahead, and Junot steals it back again. Junot sliding it up ahead to Brown. Brown getting in over the line. Brown still hanging on to the puck. Scoops it now into the corner. Too far for Barada. York got it up ahead. Senators bringing it back. Approaching the 5-minute mark here in the third period. Donato leaving it. Redden's shot is right on. That's kicked off into the corner. Jammed around on the boards. Kept in by Yashin. Fed in front of the net. Knocked down by Barada. Barada! Oh, and he just failed to get away. York coming up with it now for the Senators, spinning it up on the wing to Yashin. Yashin gaining the Buffalo line, sends it across, came right in front of the net. That's knocked out. Here's a rebound to Yashin. He cleared it in front of the net. It's come back into the corner again. Taken away by Zhitnik around on the other side. Pinching in for the Senators is Dackel. Schmelik breaks it up. Schmelik flips it and back into Ottawa territory. There's some pushing and shoving going behind the play, and there's a penalty coming up here, and it's going to go to Buffalo.
Well, Ottawa touched the puck, though. Let's see. It's an elbowing penalty, and
I'll take it back. It's Yashin.
It is Yashin who's going to the penalty box. One of the adjustments that Buffalo made after Game 1 was for the Buffalo defense to reverse the puck from the strong side to the weak side. They did that just recently. Moved the puck out of the zone, and Yashin ends up, I think, taking an elbowing penalty. Well, he's on the clock, but he's not in the penalty box. But Yashin took 2 bad penalties in Game 3, and now he gets his elbow up on Richard Schmelik. And earlier in the shift, he got his elbow up, or I beg your pardon, his stick, into the face of Michael Pekka inadvertently, but the penalty is to Yashin. And Buffalo with a glorious chance here to go up by 2 with 14:47 remaining. Now we've been talking so much about Yashin through this series, and he hasn't produced. And Jacques Martin has done everything in his power to make it more comfortable for Yashin. But what can Jacques do? He's between a rock and a hard place. None of his other players are producing. He looks to Yashin to be the big guy all the time. But what if Alfredson was scoring? Or what if McEachran, who does have a goal or 2 in the series, but what if they were scoring? Would take the pressure off him, maybe force Lindy Ruff to put the checkers on another line. But it hasn't happened.
Zhitnik coming up with it now. Feeding it over on the wing. Woolley hitting the Ottawa zone. Got it in over the line into Ward. Back to Woolley. Spins it over to Zhitnik. Zhitnik feeding it into Ward in the corner. Ward tipping it back to Zhitnik again. Takes his shot. Tempted to save the rebound. And it squirts off into the corner. Senators, Arvidsson firing it down the ice. A minute and a half to go in the penalty. Almost 6 minutes have passed here in the third period. Buffalo a 3-2 lead in game number 4, leading 3 games to zip. Up on the wing, as you know, couldn't get away at center, but he spun it ahead and gets a return pass from Brown. Juneau lost it in the corner, and it's golfed right back down the ice.
I think Daniel Alfredsson didn't see that move by Juneau before. What a great defensive play by Alfredsson inside the Ottawa line.
Shitnik trying it again. He'll hit center ice and drill one off the corner glass. Around the board, Redden didn't get it. Juneau keeping it in, banks it back behind the net. Sabres holding it in, wheeled back to the point. Shitnik keeping it in, drops it off to Barnes, down low, comes around to Juneau, turning in the corner. He'll swing it back to Woolley. Woolley takes a look, gives it to Juneau again. Juneau tucking it back in along the boards, gets it back from Grosek. Juneau at the point, holding it in there, back pass to Shitnik. Shitnik turning around, screen shot.
What a shot by Shitnik. But I'll tell you, Juneau quarterback this play inside the line, and Stu Barnes, who has not played much, the first time he's been on the ice, I think since early in the second period, had himself parked right in front of the goaltender. But Juneau's the guy that really made things go in the zone, makes the play to Shitnik, and Barnes standing right in front of the goaltender, and the puck may have been deflected. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait. It may have gone off an Ottawa player. 2 players jabbed at it. Barnes was one of them. We'll see. But what a play. What a power play by Buffalo at a clutch time in this game.
And this joint is rocking again. Another sold-out crowd at the Marine Midland Arena.
And who was in the penalty box but the captain of the Ottawa Senators? Boy, what a horrible, horrible playoffs that young guy has had.
Buffalo, its third 2-goal lead of the night. Now scooped in wide of the net. Tugnut leaving it back there to Salo. Salo being challenged, got it up ahead, didn't get it out. Off Groshek's skate back into the corner. 13 minutes to go here in the third period. Kravchuk sliding it ahead. Alfredsson leaves it there to Kravchuk. Gets a return pass, but it's taken away. And Primo trying to come up with the puck. Can't do it. Goes after it again and scoops it in. Tugnut will leave it to Kravchuk. Pulling away from Groshek. Igor Kravchuk with a pass to center ice. Alfredsson scoots it in, trying to race in after it. McKee gets there first. Sends it around on the boards. Warner takes it back. Warner hooking it off the boards. Lokinen keeping it in, however. Lokinen winds up, took his shot, knocked down. Emerson took a poke at it. That ends up at center ice. Lokinen drifting one across, and now an errant pass by Phillips goes down the ice. It will not be icing, however. Taken back by Buffalo. Spun off the boards. This goes down to the other end, wide of the Ottawa net. This one will be icing. A tad over 12 minutes remaining here in the third period. Buffalo whooping it up. A 2-goal lead on Empire.
Now, Alexei Shitnik taking the shot. A rising slap shot that may have been tipped. He has gotten credited for the goal. Buffalo 4, Ottawa 2.
Murata chips it out to center ice. Lokinen getting it back. Intercepted by Pekka, but knocked down at the blue line. Gloved out to center ice, and the Senators received the glove pass, so that occasions a stoppage in play.
I'm sure Lindy Ruff wanted to have Michael Pekka on for that power play. As it turns out, Buffalo ends up scoring, but Pekka usually plays the power play. And the reason that he didn't was, of course, Lindy wants to keep him fresh to be able to play against Yashin. And again, here is this matchup. Ward, Pekka, Verada. And of course, Michael is very quick to say too. He said, I can't cover him all myself. I need help from my wingers and my defense, and they have been great throughout this series.
Lokinen tipped it in over the line, but it's scooped back out too high for Verada and recovered by Yanni Lokinen. He'll leave it there to Chris Phillips. Phillips takes a look. On the wing it comes to Lokinen. Pekka broke it up, but it's chipped ahead to the Buffalo line and scooped in by Donato. Zhitnik taking it back. Zhitnik sliding away from Yashin. Now Zhitnik coming to center. He'll tip it in over the line. Redden knocking it down. Wade Redden takes a peek and starts back with a pass that went all the way to center and is gunned back in by Woolley. We're down to 11 minutes to go here in the third period. Pass up the middle. Yashin hitting the Buffalo line, scooping it into Hossa. Hossa races in, trying to clear it in front of the net. Hasek knocks it away. Sylvester forces it along the boards and sends it to Junot. Leaving it there. Pass to Junot again in over the line. Junot looking in front of the net, and it didn't get to Brown. Taken away by Redden and scooted out to center. Woolley for Patrick. Patrick feeding it through the middle. Sabres get it back again to Sylvester. He chops it in, trying to catch up with it. Salo gunning it off the boards and all the way through center ice. McKee tracks it down. Challenge, got it around behind the net to Warner. Back to McKee again. Feeds it to Primo. Primo slipped it out to the red line. Taken right back by Buffalo. A pass to Primo. Primo got as far as the line. He got checked. And now McKee belts it right back in again. Halfway through the third period. 4-2. Buffalo the lead. Away goes Bonk. Getting it up on the wing. That one is scooted into the corner. Charging it after it. Warner hooked it around on the glass. Didn't get it out. Back to the point. Salo's long shot doesn't get through. Warner comes up with it again. Feeding it around to the blue line. Grosek bumping there with Kravchuk. Kravchuk kept it in. But it's scooped to an open wing and will be recovered by Red Warner. Warner around to Rasmussen, failed to catch up with it. Senators keeping it in as they make a change. Albertson then promptly gave it away, and McKee just slips it off the boards into Ottawa territory. Phillips getting it out to center to Lokinen. That's broken up. Lokinen after it again. Got it in over the line. Hasek comes out of the net to guide it around for Schmelik. Schmelik slipping it off the boards to center ice. Murata got it back to Zhitnik, waltzing in, trying to go wide, and it's going to be an offside Buffalo. Tonight, following Hockey Hotline, stay tuned for the Empire Sports Report. Scores, highlights, and breaking news coming your way immediately following the post-game show. Empire Sports Report on your sports source, Empire Sports Network.
Alex Zhitnik scoring on the power play to give Buffalo the 2-goal lead. The guy he's been paired with, Richard Schmelik, has just been great in this series. You talk about the Buffalo defense. Zhitnik has been excellent. Warner right down the line, Jay McKee, but I think Schmelik has been the best of them all.
Zhitnik getting it behind the net. This one is sent off the glass to the blue line. Verada scooped it out to center ice. 9 minutes left on the clock in the third period. Dackel hooks one in. Hasek is out to play it around on the boards, getting it to Ward, and he scooped it out through center ice. Lokinen catching up with it. Feeding it in over the line. Kept in by Johansson. A quick shot right on. Hasek the save. Tips it to Junot. Junot is checked in the corner. Senators putting the pressure on now. Yashin bumping in there along with Pekka. Pekka ends up knocked down on the puck. Now he flips it off into the corner to Junot. Junot starting away. Sending it across to Schmelik as Junot got grabbed and hauled down. No penalty called there. And the two players are trying to be separated now as Junot was battling away along with Johansson. Senators coming up with it again. Johansson and Junot went to the bench. There's a penalty coming up here to Buffalo and a long shot from center that Hasek clears to the side. Barnes flips ahead, and now a penalty coming up to Buffalo. Exactly 8 minutes to go in the third. 4-2 Buffalo on Empire.
Joe Junot's in the penalty box, 2 minutes for roughing. What a strange situation this was. When I saw the play, I thought Andreas Johansson slew-footed Joey Junot as he tripped him up from behind. The two players crashed to the ice, and Junot ended up on top of Johansson, and in the opinion of the referee, deserved a roughing penalty.
Mr. John Regas, chairman of the Sabres board, looking on. He's up here between periods to have a chat and looking pretty darn good.
So he's walking 3 miles a day.
Yep.
It's great.
Here the Senators whipping one in. I thought it went over the glass. It did not. McEachern trying to hold it in there. Push and shove on the boards. Yashin getting involved. Taken away by McKee to Pekka. Pekka will drill it down the ice. A minute and a half left in the Junot penalty. 7.5 to go, third period. Buffalo up by 2 in game 4 of this series. Rolls out to center ice. Alfredson then gave it away, but it's kept in there by McEachern. McEachern rolling around, back to Alfredson, and broken up by Buffalo's Brown to Holzinger. Holzinger gaining the Ottawa line. He'll drill it around behind the net. Salo charging after it, slipping it up to Dackel. Back into Salo again with a minute to go and the Buffalo penalty. Worked out to center ice for Yashin. Yashin guiding it in over the line. Chases after it himself. Gets tied up in the corner and knocked down by Holzinger. And Buffalo kicking it free, and Holzinger starts back and just fires it down the ice and heads off on a change. Kravchuk after the puck. Kravchuk feeds it ahead, can't get it in. It's sent across ice again, spun in over the line, but broken up again by Buffalo and rolled down the ice by Schmelik. York turning in the corner to get away from Pekka's check. A half minute left in the Sabre penalty, as you know. Warner drills it right back down the ice again. York coming up with it for Ottawa. He'll wheel away to center and send it in. Too high for Warner to knock down. Hasek steered it into the corner. Prospel going after the puck. Back to Lokinen. He took a screenshot. Hasek kicked it away. Lokinen's got it again. Swings it back to the point. Here's York keeping it in. Quick shot. Nowhere near the net. Around it comes to Lokinen. Buffalo back at full strength. To York. He flipped it in front. That's knocked out. And it's cleared down the ice. And you know, racing after it. Tugnut has to come out and play it away. Getting it up ahead. 5:45 to go. Arvidsson in over the line. Schmelik's all over him in the corner. They bounce on the boards. Hossa has the puck behind the Buffalo net. Trying to come out in front. Hasek made the save. They scored! Tipped into the net. And the Ottawa Senators, with 5.5 minutes to go, make it a one-goal game again.
Well, they give themselves a chance. What a play by Hossa. He's a very skilled player. Big guy, just 20 years old. Came around from the right of Dominic Hasek to the other side, and somehow the puck ended up in the net. And whether it bounced in an Ottawa player, off an Ottawa player or a Buffalo player, I'm not sure. But Hossa moving around behind the Buffalo net to elude Alexei Zhitnik. Wade Redden had moved in front. Also, Emerson had a whack at the loose puck, and it's very difficult to tell, even as we view the replay, who scored the goal. But Dominic Hasek needed some help on this play and didn't get it. It might be Emerson who poked the puck between the legs, but here we go again. Buffalo up by 1.
Primo to Grosek. Grosek, a check. And back come the Senators. 4 of them coming away. Emerson leaving it there. In over the line, Alfredson. He got checked, but it's kept in by Redden. Redden took his shot. That's blocked by Schmelik. Came right out in front. It's gone wide of the net. Sabres can't get it out. Tucked back into the corner. Zhitnik blasts it around to the boards, and that's going to get down the ice, and it will result in a face-off back in the Buffalo end, but Ottawa came ever so close to tying it up as we go to Danny Gare.
Oh, thank you, Rick. I'm up here in the suites, and the director of suite services, Mark Stone, is leaving us on Friday for his last day and function here, your game here tonight. What are your thoughts on leaving and going to a nice area, but a hockey area?
Yeah, going down to North Carolina and work for the Hurricanes. But I definitely have mixed emotions, Danny. You know, you and I go back a long way. My heart's always going to be with the Sabres. It's a great game to be my last game here, I'll tell you that.
Well, you never know the third round if the Sabres can pull this out in Carolina. We may meet up with you.
That's right. But even if I'm in Carolina, my heart will always be in Buffalo.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Danny.
Spun off the boards now. Sent away to center ice. There's a broom lying out on the ice in the Ottawa end, and Tugnut's trying to get the attention of the officials. Finally cleared to center. Pekka tried to get away, but it's spun back in again. Called on the offside. Mick Magoo, one of the referees, in the meantime, had picked up the broom and thrown it away.
Nelson Emerson gets credit for the goal. His first goal of the playoffs, but he's a leading scorer on Ottawa with 4 points. He was the guy, or one of the guys, that Jacques Martin was not playing here in this game. He puts him out there and he scores a goal.
Bouncer right on Tugnut, and it's scooped high in the air. After it is Ward to keep it in. Got it around behind the net. Marauder gets knocked down. Pekka in the corner. He fired it across ice. Off the glass it goes and taken away to center. Broken up by McKee. Yashin is back there. Yashin trying to get away from Pekka. Yashin still after the puck again. Now he slings it and fires center ice. Yashin charges after it once more. In over the line with a shot, and Hasek handles that one and hangs on to it.
Yashin got a little skating room in the neutral zone. He's not a very good skater. In other words, he's not fast. He's very strong in his skates. But between the blue lines, he's not that effective. Once he gets in the zone, he is one of the great shots in the National Hockey League. And of course, he's very creative with the puck. And that time, Dominik Hasek was ready for the hard slap shot. One thing I've noticed, and I commented earlier, the stamina, I think you have to question about Yashin. Also, he's been really manhandled by Buffalo. In other words, thrown to the ice on a number of occasions in this series. So that has to tell me also that not only is he perhaps tired, but he's not that strong in his skates.
Emerson winning the draw. It's tapped back into the corner. Emerson and Brown wrestling for it. Alfredson pries it free. He gets checked. But it's kept in by the Senators. Here's Emerson again, trying to slide it around on the boards. Brown attempting to pick it up. Kept in by McEachern. Back to the point. Long shot, nowhere near the net. Worked around on the boards, and Grosek or Sylvester didn't get it out of there. Ottawa has Buffalo hemmed at its own end. Less than 4 minutes remaining, and they'll get a face-off.
Well, Dominik Hasek, again, a busy man in the Buffalo net this evening. 42 shots on goal for the Senators, but Dominik has a rather good record when facing 40 or more shots in the playoffs. 42-26 to be exact. 6 wins, only 1 loss in playoffs, and Hasek has faced 40 or more. Lindy Ruff showing great confidence in Dean Sylvester, who's playing his first playoff game, and Lindy has gone, of course, with Pekka Verata Ward line, then the Brown Grosek Juneau line, and he's moved the other 6 players around. Primo's out there now, so different combinations of forward lines for Buffalo, particularly on the third line.
Senators holding it in as Redden moves up to try and tuck it into the corner. It's chopped but not out. Now it's cleared out by Woolley. And 3.5 minutes remaining on the clock. Ottawa trailing by 1 ball. Back to collect it behind the net and set up the play for the Senators. Accepts a return pass, getting it out ahead to Johansson. He'll flip it in. Hasek tees it up behind the net. Flipped it around on the glass, but didn't get it out. Bonk keeping it in. Johansson now drops it off. It's scooped, but not out. Kept in back at the point to York with a shot right in front of the net. Oh, walk out of the can. Still poking at the puck. It's still lying there. Finally, Rasmussen gets it off the glass and bobbles it down the ice. And they're going to call this one icing.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Well, it's an icing call and a faceoff coming back in the Buffalo zone. But another great close call in the Buffalo zone. And Dominik Hasek again with some big saves.
Our independent health save of the game. Independent health quality coverage you can depend on. The scramble around Dominik Hasek, but somehow he manages to keep the puck out of the Buffalo net.
Again, that was because of a giveaway in the zone, that time by Rasmussen. Boy, the wingers must be absolutely certain that when the puck comes up the boards that they get it across the blue line.
Warner charging into the corner, bumping with Arvidsson. Yashin trying to pry it free. Packard keeping an eye on him, but the whistle will go. 2:48 remaining, third period.
Brett Warner, Jay McKee getting the assignment to play against the big line of Ottawa. And of course, the emergence of Jay McKee has been huge to this hockey club as we check our NOCO Express scores around the NHL. New Jersey leading Pittsburgh 3-2, and Phoenix with a 2-1 lead over St. Louis.
Senators keep it in, but it's taken away by McKee. McKee off the glass to center ice. Knocked down by Kravchuk to Hossa. Hossa feeding it up to Yashin. He'll tuck it in over the line. Hossa charging after it. Warner got in front of him. Arvidsson stepped into Ward. Ward trying to work it into Pekka. Pekka flipped it, didn't get it. Goes after it again. Dribbled it around into the corner. Verata charging in there as he bumps with Yashin. It comes to the blue line, out and into Ottawa territory. Salo coming up with it now across to Kravchuk. Kravchuk wheels one in over the line, but Juneau is there for Buffalo. He got it out through center ice with a dangerous effort, and the Sabres complete a change. Picked up by Redden. 2 minutes remaining in regulation. Steered up on the wing. They'll jam it at center. Junot taking it back. Junot feeds it around behind the net. Tugnutt leaving it back there. Gets it around to the boards. Albertson. He gets it across ice. Ottawa, the rush away to McEachern. McEachern slipping one into the corner. Zhitnik charges in there. Zhitnik got it around on the boards. Didn't get it out. Senators keep it in. Long shot. Skips wide of the net. Here's McEachern getting it in front. Junot takes it away. Now it's slipped out to center ice. Sylvester charging after it. That one rolls back into Ottawa territory. 1.5 minutes remaining. Ottawa bringing it back again. Coming away to center, Albertson. Albertson spins one in. Tugnutt is out of the net, but he hasn't gone to the bench yet. Warner fires it around on the boards. That deflects and goes down the ice into Ottawa territory. 1:10 left in regulation time. Yashin coming up with the puck at his own line. He slips it away to center ice. It's left there, taken away by Murata. Got it off the boards. 1 minute to go. Cleared back in, and it deflects into the Buffalo bench. Tugnutt was trying to get to the bench and didn't make it.
Well, a great job in the last minute or so by Buffalo of keeping Ottawa on the retreat. And of course, that's the key with the lead as the clock ticks off. And now, unfortunately for Ottawa, they have a face-off just outside the... Well, where's it going to be? Well, we'll have to wait, but Tugnutt's going to have to remain in the net. And I'm sure someone will call a timeout. The brooms raining down onto the ice, and this is a great idea, but it's a very dangerous one because you don't want any players to get hurt. Some of those bristles come off the broom. They're easily stepped on, and you could have a serious injury. And this game is not won.
Oh, no.
It's a long way.
It's premature celebration is what it is.
And all this does is give, particularly the Ottawa Senators, a breather, and they should be taking advantage of it. Jacques Martin should have his team over there. Lindy Ruff calling his team over. And you try to take every edge in the game that you can and get a timeout without calling one.
58.8 seconds remain on the clock here in the third period. Buffalo a 1-goal lead, 4-3, in an attempt to sweep the Ottawa Senators. Face-off outside the Sabres line. Pekka and Yashin. It slides back. Redden drills it in. Tugnutt heads to the bench. Cleared around to the corner to McKee. He flipped it. Didn't get it out. Ottawa keeping it in. McEachern sends it back to the point again. And it's cleared across to Redden. His screenshot. That gets knocked down. And it's chipped out to center ice. 40 seconds remain. Steered back in the other direction. Arvidsson then gave it away to Warner. And Warner up to Ward. Ward sailing one in. Oh, just wide of the empty net. Stolen in the corner. Murata gets knocked down. Ottawa coming back again. Redden getting it out at center. Dumped in by Arvidsson. Hasek got it around on the boards. Ward scoops it. Doesn't get it out. Goes after it again. He gets knocked down on top of the puck. And play is going to be held there. 15 seconds remain.
A smart play by Dixon Ward. He tried to initially backhand the puck out of the zone. It couldn't do it. And he did the smart thing. Rather than try to keep the play going, he ended up falling on the puck and holding it for a face-off. And it will be to the left of Hasek, and I'm sure that somebody's going to call a timeout here. I was just going to remark.
Well, they don't really have to, partner, because there's all kinds of debris on the ice.
There's other stuff coming out there again, but it was interesting. The two youngsters, Jay McKee and Rhett Warner, played the last minute of hockey on defense for Buffalo, and not Schmelik and Zhitnik. At Buffalo with a 4-3 lead over the Ottawa Senators, and they just haven't been able to put Ottawa away. Buffalo opened the scoring as Erik Rasmussen scored his first of the playoffs. Václav Murata made it 2-0, but then Ottawa came back as they finally beat Dominik Hasek. Murata scores his second to give Buffalo again a 2-goal lead, but McEachern beats Dominik Hasek, and in the third period, Zhitnik, a power play goal to make it 4-2, but then Nelson Emerson pokes home a loose puck in front, and that's where we are now. 15.1 seconds remaining, and this building is bonkers.
Oh, it's rocking.
And again, Jay McKee Warner on the ice for this faceoff. Pekka will take it against Yashin to the left of Hasek.
15 seconds remain. Buffalo holding an edge in faceoffs on the game to this point. Pekka tried to chop it, came back to the point. Kept in by Ottawa, the long screen shot wide of the net. Punch back into the corner, came in front again. Knocked down Arvidsson, his backhand, another whack at it in front. Pekka tried to swing it away. Into the corner it goes. This game is over. And the Buffalo Sabres have swept the Ottawa Senators. 4 straight games, 2 in Ottawa, 2 in Buffalo, and the Sabres head on in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Partner, this was a series for the Ottawa Senators. One of the best teams in the NHL picked to win the Stanley Cup. They were the Titanic coming into this playoff series, and in Game 1, Dominik Hasek became the iceberg because after that game, their ship filled with water and sank quickly. And it was a huge battle here tonight, but there were a number of reasons that Buffalo shakes hands the victors. First of all, the better players on Buffalo outplayed the better players in Ottawa, starting, of course, with Dominik Hasek, Michael Pekka. That was one of the great stories of the series, and what a job he did on Alexei Yashin. And I think Lindy Ruff did an absolutely brilliant job of coaching, of getting the matchups that he wanted, even though Jacques Martin, of course, tried desperately to avoid that.
One of the nicest things and one of the things about hockey is the shaking of hands at the end of a Stanley Cup playoff series. And I'm sure that most of the Senators are congratulating the Sabres as they do shake hands and wishing them luck in the next round, whoever it might be against, and we have no idea who it might be against. I can tell you, however, tickets for the first 2 home games of round 2 will go on sale tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Get your tickets at the Marine Midland Arena box office, all Fantastics outlets located in Tops Friendly Markets, or call toll-free 1-888-223-6000. Those tickets for the next round on sale tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
How about the job, too, the Buffalo defense? Game 1, they had a terrible time containing Ottawa. The coaching staff made adjustments. The Buffalo defense settled down. And I thought, of course, Jay McKee, Rhett Warner were outstanding. Zhitnik was great. I thought Richard Smelik was the best of everyone. And just a wonderful effort by the Sabre defense. And, of course, Dominik Hasek with a great series, winning it in 4 straight for Buffalo. And let's go down to Danny Garrett.
Thanks, guys. Here with Rhett Warner and Rhett, the crowd's going nuts. You have to feel good about winning 4 straight against this Ottawa club.
Yeah, they're a good team. They played well all year, and Dom came up big for this series. They got the job done, and it's going to be good to have a couple days off now.
Your mate that you worked a lot tonight with Jay McKee, you shut down Yashin. Tell us a little bit what you tried to do against him most of this series.
Well, he's a good player, and he had some bad breaks this series. We tried to take away his ice time and limit that as much as we could, and we were able to do that. So, good for us, tough for him.
Rhett, congratulations. Look forward to the next series. Let's bring in Dominik Hasek. Dominik, an outstanding performance again here tonight. Dominik, were you a little worried at all as they came on in the second period?
Oh, yeah, I was worried the whole game, and we look a little bit tired today. We made more mistakes than the last 2 games, but we've done the job, I didn't believe until the game was over.
Did you think that when you went into this series that you would have an opportunity to sweep this hockey club, the Ottawa Senators?
You know what, you never think about it, you expect a long series. You think about game by game. You cannot think about a sweeping, you can say sweeping until everything is over.
Dominik, the fans are unbelievable tonight. A good sweep. Enjoy the off time. I know you want to take a little time off.
Yeah, we need it. We have a couple of small injuries, and I feel great. But I like a little bit time off.
All right, upstairs to you guys.
Well, Dominik Hasek's night is just beginning because he's going to have to put up with that media wave.
Make the rounds tonight, I think.
Yes, they will.
May not get out of here for a while.
Media from all over North America coming to see the series that culminates here at the Marine Midland Arena with a 4-game Buffalo Sabres sweep. And I don't think any of us would have thought that to be possible when we started out on this trail.
Absolutely not. I mean, that was just a dream. A lot of people thought that the Ottawa Senators were going to win this series, and how about this? I mean, the last 3 series that the Sabres have played, they have swept 3 of those 4 series. 2 last year, of course, against the Philadelphia Flyers and then the Montreal Canadiens. And then tonight they eliminate the Ottawa Senators. And Danny Gare is ready with another guest.
Yeah, I'm here with Dixon Ward, and Dixon, your line did an unbelievable job against the Yashin line. Talk a little bit about the effort that this team put in throughout the series.
Well, it was amazing the way the guys pulled together. I said a long time ago that all you need to be successful is hope, and we've had hope all year with Dominic in the net. He gives us that hope, and it's just a matter of pulling together. And when we get to playoff time, everybody's focused on one goal and one goal only, and that's what this team does best.
You made some key plays today earlier in the game in regards to Lavrada's goals. You did that throughout the series, not only checking but offensively wise.
Well, we always think that we got to produce not only defensively but offensively for this team to win. So Peck's had a great series, and V stepped up tonight and did a great job leading us.
Well, I know you got a little time off. Enjoy it.
Thanks, Danny.
Upstairs to you, boys.
Well, obviously, the Buffalo Sabres, a very happy crew, and as Brett Warner mentioned, a couple of guys are hurting a little bit, so this will give them an opportunity as they're going to have a few days off to do a little healing.